Hi everyone, it's Miss Jan at the Woodlands Children's Museum. Welcome to Storybook Theatre. Katie and I would like to start off with our story song and you can join in with us. You ready, Katie? Yes, ma'am. If you want to hear a story, clap your hands. If you want to hear a story, clap your hands. If you want to hear a story, if you want to hear a story, if you want to hear a story, clap your hands. If you want to hear a story, shout hooray, hooray! If you want to hear a story, shout hooray, hooray! If you want to hear a story, if you want to hear a story, if you want to hear a story, shout hooray, hooray! Awesome job, Katie. Take your bow. Very good. And I'm going to let you sit down here so you can listen to our story today. Let's open the treasure chest. And here's our book for today called Thank You, Amu. And it is by Oge Mora. And let me first explain the word Amu. It's from another language. It's from the Igbo language, which is in the country of Nigeria. And Miss Mora's family is from Nigeria. And Amu in that language, Igbo, is queen. But Miss Mora used the name Amu for her grandma when she was growing up. And she used it as grandma, but it does mean queen. And I chose this story because this is the month we celebrate Thanksgiving and family and friends come together and we share food, we share time together. And what happens in this story reminds me of what happens around Thanksgiving, but it's something that we should do all year round in sharing with our family and friends and our neighbors. So I hope you enjoy. Thank you, Amu. On the corner of First Street and Long Street, on the very top floor, Amu was cooking a thick red stew in a big fat pot for a nice evening meal. She seasoned and stirred it and took a small taste. What a delicious stew, Amu said. Tonight's dinner will surely be the best I have ever had. Reminds me of my grandma cooking a special soup, especially around Christmas time. With that, Amu put down her spoon and went to read a book before supper. As the thick red stew simmered on the stove, its scrumptious scent wafted out the window and out the door, down the hall, toward the street, and around the block until, knock, someone was at the door. When Amu opened it, she saw. Let's see what she saw. A little boy. Little boy, Amu exclaimed, what brings you to my home? I was playing with my race car down the hall when I smelled the most delicious smell, the little boy replied. What is it? Thick red stew, Amu said. Yum stew, he sighed. That sure sounds yummy. I always read stories that make me hungry. Amu thought for a moment. She was saving her stew for dinner, but she had made quite a bit. It would not hurt to share. Would you like some? The little boy nodded. And so Amu spooned out some thick red stew from the big fat pot for her nice evening meal. Thank you, Amu, the little boy said, and went on his way. It was so nice of Amu to share. With that, closed the door and went back to her book. As she read, her thick red stew scrumptious scent wafted out the window and out the door, down the hall, toward the street, and around the block until, knock, knock. Someone was at the door. When Amu opened the door, this time she saw, let's see who, I don't think it's a little boy. A police officer. "Miss Police Officer," Amu exclaimed, "what brings you to my home?" "I was on duty down the street when I smelled the most delicious smell," Miss Police Officer replied. "What is it?" "Thick red stew." "Ah, stew," she said, and her mouth watered. "That sounds mighty tasty." Wow, she could taste some of that stew. Amu thought for a moment. There was still enough to share. "Would you like some?" The police officer nodded. Once again, Amu spooned out some thick red stew from the big fat pot for her nice evening meal. "Thank you, Amu," the officer said, and went on her way. And so, for the second time, Amu closed the door and went back to her book. Sure enough, as she read, her thick red stew scrumptious and wafted out the window and out the door, down the hall, toward the street, and around the block, until, knock, knock, knock. Again, someone was at Amu's door. This time when she opened it, she saw, let's see who it is. A hot dog vendor. "Mr. Hot Dog Vendor," Amu exclaimed, "what brings you to my home?" "I was selling my hot dogs down the block when I smelled the most delicious smell," Mr. Hot Dog Vendor replied. "What is it?" "Thick red stew." "Oh, stew," the vendor licked his lips. "That sounds quite delectable." So now I'm thinking about stew and hot dogs. Oh my goodness, it's lunchtime. So Amu spooned out some thick red stew from the big fat pot for her nice evening meal. "Thank you, Amu," the hot dog vendor said, and went on his way. Throughout the day, people from all across the neighborhood knocked on Amu's door. She fed a shop owner, a cab driver, a doctor, an actor, a lawyer, a dancer, a baker, an artist, a singer, an athlete, a bus driver, a construction worker. Even the mayor stopped by. And each time they knocked, Amu shared. Soon, the sky darkened, the streetlights brightened, and it was finally time for dinner. But when Amu opened her big fat pot of thick red stew for her nice evening meal, it was empty. Oh my, what's she going to do for dinner? Amu sniffled. There goes the best dinner I ever had. Sorry and blue. She sat at the table with her empty pot until, knock, 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 knock. Who could that be, Amu wondered. When she opened her door, she saw, who do you think? The little boy? The police officer? The hot dog vendor? The shop owner? The cab driver? The doctor? The actor? The lawyer? The dancer? The baker? Why, everyone she fed today was at her door. I'm sorry, everyone, Amu sighed. My thick red stew is all gone. I have nothing left to share. The little boy tugged at Amu's sleeve. Don't worry, Amu. We are not here to ask. We are here to give. The police officer carried in a fresh salad. The mayor entered with a roast chicken. The baker brought a collection of sweet goodies. Even the little boy presented Amu with something special in a shiny red envelope. Everyone who had knocked on Amu's door that day squeezed inside her tiny apartment, and together they ate, danced, and celebrated. While Amu's big fat pot of thickened stew was empty, her heart was full of happiness and love. That dinner was the best she had ever had. You are going to see what was in that little envelope from the little boy. It says, "Thank you, Amu." So I hope you enjoyed that story. And again, it reminds me so much of gathering together and sharing food with the people we love. Sometimes it's people we don't know very well. And I actually went on the internet, and the author Oge Mora was doing an interview about this book, and she was talking about her grandma, who she called Amu, and about that thick red stew, which was something that came from Nigeria, where her grandma was from. And it's kind of a tomato-based stew with lots of spices, not like spaghetti sauce, but it's just a very thick, meaty stew. So it's kind of nice that she shared that tradition of her family, just like I'm sure you have special foods that you have when you get together with family and on holidays as well. So I hope you enjoyed our story today. Until next time, keep a smile on your face and a story and a song in your heart. Bye-bye.